Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn It. Today we are studying a subject that many people believe to be boring, repetitive and useless. But if you think about it, it's useful in various walks of life and you use it almost daily. Yes, today we are studying Mathematics Part 1 of Standard 10. In this we are going to be studying the first chapter, that is linear equation in two variables. We'll study what exactly are linear equations, the methods for solving them, and although there are various methods for solving linear equations, we'll only focus on those which are given in your textbook. And we'll also study the application of simultaneous equations, which are basically the word problems relating with linear equations. Now, before we dive right into solving those questions, we'll understand what exactly a linear equation is. So, when you ask the question, what is a linear equation? The answer is very simple. When you take an equation with one or two variables and draw it on a graph paper, the graph that comes out of that equation should be a straight line. That means that if you take any equation and decide to plot it on a graph paper, the graph would be that of a straight line. The standard form of a linear equation in two variables is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, where x and y are the variables. A, B and C are the real numbers which are not supposed to be 0, and C is the constant, that means it does not change even with the change in variable. Also, A and B are the coefficient of x and y respectively. I believe the best way to learn maths is by solving the sums, so we'll solve two or more sums of each exercise here, and I insist you to solve the rest on your own for practice. So, let's come to page number 5. In practice at 1.1, we'll solve question number 6 of question 2, that is 1 upon 3x plus y is equal to 10 upon 3. And that's our first equation. And the second equation in this will be 2x plus 1 upon 4y is equal to 11 upon 4. Since we want our denominators to be 1, we'll multiply the equation with the number in the denominator. We'll multiply equation 1 by 3 and equation 2 by 4. So our new equations will be x plus 3y is equal to 10. We'll name that as equation 3. And 8x plus y is equal to 11. That is our equation 4. Now to solve both of these equations, we need one of the variable to have the same constant. So we'll multiply equation 4 by 3. That will give us 24x plus 3y is equal to 33. This will become our equation 5. Now we need to subtract these equations since they are both positive, so we want one to be negative. So we'll keep the bigger equation at the top and the smaller equation at the bottom. So we'll subtract equation 3 from 5, and by that 24x minus x will become 23x, 3y minus 3y will become 0, y, that is nothing, and 33 minus 10 will become 23. So to find the value of x, we take the 23, that is the coefficient of x, to the right hand side, and since it's in multiplication it comes to division, so we'll get 23 upon 23 is equal to 1. That means we get the value of x as 1. Now we'll substitute this value of x as 1 in equation 3, and we'll find the value of y. After solving, we get y is equal to 3. Now the final answer we have to write here is, therefore the solution is in brackets x comma y is equal to 1 comma 3, and this is how this sum is solved. We'll check out one more sum, that is question 8 from the same question. In this, the equations we have are 49x minus 57y is equal to 172. That's our equation 1, and 57x minus 49y is equal to 252. That's our equation 2. Now as you can see, both the equations have 49 as coefficient of different variables and 57 as coefficient of different variables. So if you try to multiply and find a common number that you can add or subtract, the number would become very huge and it would be a big task to solve it without any means of calculator. We add this equation, and after adding this equation we get 106x minus 106y is equal to 424. Now here the 106 can be taken out as common. That leaves us with 106 in bracket x comma x minus y is equal to 424. The 106 that's in multiplication, if we take that to the right hand side, that will become divide. So we'll divide 424 by 106 and we get x minus y is equal to 4. We name this as equation 3 and then we subtract equation 1 and 2 to find the fourth equation that will help us solve this problem. So after subtracting both of this equation, we get 8x plus 8y is equal to 80. Now we do the same thing we did in the previous equation, that is take 8 out as common. So it will become 8 bracket x plus y is equal to 80. This 8 that is in multiplication will go to the right hand side and become division. We get x plus y is equal to 10 and we name this as equation 4. Now as you can see in equation 3 and 4 we have the same variables. So it's up to you which variable you want to cancel out and find the value of first. I'm here adding this equation because I find it easier to add than subtract. So we'll add equation 3 and 4 and we can cancel out the y by adding and we get 2x is equal to 14. Now the value of x comes as 7 after solving. We substitute this value of x as 7 in equation 4 and after solving that we get the value of y as 3. The final answer is therefore solution of x and y is 7, 3. Now we come down to the methods of solving linear equations. In your textbook there are two methods, that are graphical method and Cramer's rule. First we'll start with graphical method. For this you'll need a graph paper and what you're supposed to do in graphical method is you're supposed to find the coordinates of the equation as x and y, the coordinates of x and y for this equation, and you have to plot a line on the graph, and where the two lines of the graph intersect, that is your solution. So now we are solving the question of practice set 1.2. In that, the sixth question of question number 2. Our equations are 2x minus 3y is equal to 4 and 3y minus x is equal to 4. So generally it is preferred to assume a value of x and find the value of y on the basis of that value of x. So to make it easier, you have to write the equation in such a format like I have written here, as y is equal to 2x minus 4 upon 3. So for this, you just keep substituting your assumed value of x in the place of x and find the value of y. So we have the values here, like when you take x as 2 and solve this whole equation, you get y as 0. Similarly, when you take x as 5, you get y as 2, and when you take x as 3.5, you get y as 1. So we only need 3 coordinates to plot the graph. You can do more, but I would not suggest wasting your time on it. And for the second equation, we have the values of x and y here. This solution you will get after plotting the graph. I have written here already, but we'll see the graph first. As you can see here, you have to draw this graph on your own, but as you can see here, the green line is the line for the equation 2x minus 3y is equal to y, and the blue dots are coordinates for the same line, and for the blue line is for the equation 3y minus x is equal to 4, and the green dots are its coordinates. So when you draw this line and extend it so they both intersect, that point is 8, 4, and that is your solution. Let's take a break here since I wouldn't want you to get bored with your studies. Let's continue the remaining exercises in the next video. So stay tuned. If you have any doubts so far, please feel free to add them in the comments. And if you have any suggestion for improving our videos, please add them too. Thank you.